Chosen one, listen closely. Heaven has stilled the noise around you so that you can hear this clearly. The shaking in your life is not punishment. It is movement. It is divine motion. You are standing at the intersection of endings and beginnings, where God begins to rearrange everything that once felt stable. The ground beneath your feet trembles, not because you are losing balance, but because God is shifting the foundation that will carry you into your next season. You have felt it, the friendships growing distant, the routines breaking apart, the plans collapsing before your eyes. And somewhere, deep inside, you've whispered, "Lord, what is happening to me?" But heaven responds, "I am shaking everything that can be shaken, so that only what is eternal may remain." What you call loss, God calls refining. What you see as chaos, heaven calls construction. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. Everything unstable is being removed from your life because the new you cannot stand on old ground. You are being untethered from what once felt safe so that you can finally walk in what is sacred. Every chosen one must face this shaking, the separation that reveals what is truly built by God. You may ask, why does it hurt so much? Because elevation always begins with disruption. The cocoon must break before the wings unfold. The seed must be buried before the bloom is seen. God does not destroy his chosen. He disturbs them until they awaken. You are being stirred out of comfort so you can step into calling. Listen when heaven shakes you. It's never random. The Lord does not waste storms. He uses them to shake loose the false foundations you've unknowingly trusted. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every door that shut in your face, none of it is punishment. It's positioning. The shaking exposes who was for your purpose and who was for your comfort. And when comfort leaves, calling rises. So, do not fear the trembling ground beneath your feet. Instead, see it for what it truly is. Divine alignment in motion. You were never meant to stand still when heaven says, "Move." The restlessness you feel is not anxiety, it's prophecy in motion. You are being moved from where you were tolerated to where you will be celebrated, from hidden to revealed, from preparation to manifestation. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 27. The words, "once more," indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. This is the season when everything temporary is being removed so that the eternal can stand firm. You will no longer rely on fleeting strength or shallow approval. Instead, your roots will grow deep in faith, and your heart will learn what it truly means to trust the unseen hand of God. Beloved, do not confuse shaking with abandonment. God is closer now than he has ever been. When everything else falls away, his presence remains steady, unshakable, and sovereign. You are standing in the middle of a holy earthquake that will not destroy you, but reveal you. You may not recognize yourself after this season, and that is exactly the point. The version of you that emerges will carry more wisdom, more humility, and more authority than ever before. Your voice will carry the sound of someone who has walked through fire and come out pure. So lift your head, let the tears fall if they must. But don't let fear speak louder than faith. This shaking is heaven's way of saying, it's time. You are being promoted through pressure. You are being elevated through endurance. And soon, those who thought you were finished will see the glory of God resting on your life. Chosen one, if this word has stirred something in your spirit, do not scroll past it. Heaven is speaking directly to you. Take a moment, pause, and acknowledge this divine moment. Type 777 inches, the comments as a prophetic act, declaring, I trust God in the shaking. Let this number be your signal to heaven that you understand. The shaking is not your ending, it's your elevation in progress. And if you feel this message burning in your heart, share it with someone who needs to be reminded that God is still in control. Like this video, leave your comment of faith, and subscribe, because this is only the beginning. The journey of the chosen never ends in the storm. It begins there. You are the one heaven is calling. You are the one being elevated. You are the one God will use to prove that even in the shaking, His plan still stands. You have begun to notice, chosen one, that the shaking has purpose. The pieces that once formed your old world are being rearranged, not because you did something wrong, but because heaven is doing something right. The familiar walls are trembling, and the ground beneath your feet feels uncertain. But this is divine architecture at work. The shaking you fear is the sound of destiny under construction. You see, God never allows disruption without design. There is no such thing as random pain in the life of the chosen. The tremors that have shaken your peace are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to strip away what cannot endure your next level. Every divine shaking comes to separate imitation from authenticity, noise from clarity, appearance from essence. You are not losing yourself. You are being uncovered. When God begins to elevate a person, He must first expose the foundation beneath their feet. The shaking comes to show you where you have built on sand instead of rock, where you have relied on approval instead of purpose, where you have trusted your plans more than His promises. He does this not to humiliate you, but to heal you. He shakes what is temporary so that the eternal can finally stand firm within you. You might be tempted to hold on tightly to what once worked, to cling to comfort, to routine, to the versions of yourself that used to survive. But the shaking will not stop until you release what no longer serves the mission. There are things you prayed for that now must leave, because they were meant only for your training, not for your reigning. Every prophet, every apostle, every servant chosen by God faced their own divine shaking before their elevation. Moses had to watch Egypt crumble behind him before he could walk through the Red Sea. Joseph had to lose his coat before he could wear the crown. Even Jesus endured the trembling of the cross before resurrection. Power was revealed. The pattern never changes. Shaking precedes glory. So do not curse the earthquake. Understand it. Every tremor is a message. You are being prepared for greater. Every loss is instruction. Let go of what was. Every silence is formation. Trust me here. What you are feeling is not instability, it is calibration. God is aligning your steps to match the rhythm of His divine purpose. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Haggai in chapter 2, verse 6. This is what the Lord Almighty says, in a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. To 7. This shaking, therefore, is not your enemy, it is your invitation. When heaven begins to shake things, it means God has turned His face toward you. It means you have caught His attention. And now, everything that cannot remain must bow to His order. The people leaving, the doors closing, the uncertainty pressing, all of it is heaven saying, I am clearing the path. Chosen one. The purpose of the shaking is refinement. You are being sifted like gold. Every grain of doubt, every impurity of fear, every fragment of pride is being removed in this divine process. You are learning to live from the unshakable center where your faith no longer depends on outcomes, but on presence. Look again at your situation with spiritual eyes. The things you lost were never meant to stay. The things that remain are unshakable. And soon, when the dust settles, you will see clearly that the shaking did not come to bury you, but to build you. Do not rush this moment. Let it do its work. Let it shake away what was built on insecurity and illusion. Let it reveal the strength you never knew you carried. You will not collapse. You will crystallize. You will emerge from this trembling season with unbreakable peace, rooted in the knowing that God Himself is your foundation. When everything else trembles, He remains. When all you built with your hands falls, His plan still stands. That is the purpose of the shaking, to reveal the permanence of the one who called you. The shaking has begun to separate. Chosen one. You can feel it, relationships shifting, circles tightening, conversations no longer fitting the rhythm of your soul. What once felt like home now feels foreign, and though your heart aches for the familiar, deep within, you know this is not rejection. This is redirection. You are being separated by divine design. Separation always feels personal, but it is deeply purposeful. When God begins to elevate His chosen vessels, He first isolates them. The noise has to quiet so you can hear His instruction clearly. The familiar patterns must break so your spirit can learn a new cadence. The people who once walked with you cannot all follow you into the next dimension. Their purpose in your story may have expired, and holding on would only delay your transformation. Do not mistake divine separation for abandonment. When others walk away, heaven walks in. What feels like emptiness is actually sacred space being created around you. God removes the voices that cloud your clarity because you are about to hear His whisper with new precision. There is beauty in the quiet, power in the solitude, and revelation in the stillness. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. But remember, before iron can sharpen iron, it must first be separated from the ore that once held it. The process of separation is not punishment, it's refinement. You are being shaped into something sharp, precise, and ready for impact. When heaven separates you, it is never to leave you alone, but to align you with the divine. The shaking pulls you away from counterfeit connections, those who loved your potential but not your purpose. The Spirit is exposing what was built on convenience rather than covenant. Some people were never meant to stay. They were simply meant to show you the strength you already carry. The loneliness you feel right now is not a void, it's an altar. In the silence, God is building something new within you. Every tear, every ache, every sleepless night has been recorded by heaven. You are not being punished, you are being purified. And when this process is complete, you will rise with discernment so sharp that nothing false will ever find a resting place near you again. Chosen one. Look around what has been removed lately. Who has drifted? What has fallen silent? Do not rush to fill those spaces. Let God do the pruning. The vine does not cry when branches are cut away. It trusts the gardener knows what must be trimmed for greater fruit to come. You are being prepared for abundance, and abundance cannot dwell in clutter. This is the sacred paradox of separation. What feels like loss is actually protection. God is hiding you for a reason. There are assignments being written with your name on them. But before they are released, you must be sanctified by solitude. There are promises that cannot manifest while you are still surrounded by distraction. You are not being left behind. You are being set apart. And when God sets something apart, it's because He intends to display it. Soon, the same people who questioned your silence will witness your unveiling. The very season they thought buried you will become the platform that crowns you. Do not fear the empty spaces. They are holy ground. Do not fight the stillness. It is your incubation. Every separation carries the scent of elevation. This is how heaven works. It removes before it restores. It empties before it overflows. It hides before it reveals. So, breathe, let go, and trust that the divine distance you feel is not distance at all, it is direction. Now, if this word echoes in your spirit, respond not with many words, but with one declaration of faith. Comment, "I'm ready," because when you say those two words, heaven hears more than surrender. It hears agreement. You're saying, "I trust the process. I trust the pruning. I trust the separation." Let your comment be your covenant with God, that you will not run back to what He has released. Say it boldly, and let all of heaven witness your decision. You are ready for what comes after the shaking. When you type those words, it isn't just a comment on a screen, it's a prophetic signal to heaven. It's your soul standing upright after a long night of wrestling, saying, "Father, I choose your way over my comfort." In that moment, angels take record. The unseen world shifts in your favor. Doors that were sealed begin to open, and strength unseen begins to pour into your spirit like morning light after a storm. The pressure has increased. Chosen one, you feel it in your spirit, every breath heavy with unseen weight, every step carrying more resistance than before. But listen carefully, this is not the pressure of punishment, it is the pressure of becoming. The hands of heaven are molding you, shaping your character, refining your heart so that you can carry the weight of glory without collapsing under it. The truth is, destiny is heavy. Purpose requires structure strong enough to hold revelation. That's why you feel stretched in every direction, emotionally, spiritually, even physically. The same way a potter presses clay on the wheel, God is pressing you into shape. He spins your life faster, allowing the water of comfort to splash away, so that what remains can be solid, steadfast, and ready to hold the oil of anointing. You've cried, "Lord, why does it hurt so much?" But He answers softly, "Because I am forming something eternal." You asked for greatness, and He responded with pressure. You prayed for strength, and He allowed resistance. You wanted deeper faith, so He removed every prop that made faith easy. The greater the call, the greater the crushing required to sustain it, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8 declares, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair." No, this verse breathes through your current battle. You are being pressed on every side, Yet there is a hidden strength rising inside you that refuses to collapse. The crushing may bruise you, but it will not break you. The pressure may bend your will, but it will not destroy your purpose. Because within you lives something unshakable, the divine breath that cannot be extinguished. Think of the olive. Its value is revealed only when pressed, the oil that lights lamps, heals wounds, and anoints kings cannot flow until the fruit is crushed. In the same way, the pressure you face is revealing what has been hidden within you all along. Divine substance, heavenly oil, sacred endurance. Without pressure, there is no flow. Without resistance, there is no rise. So when the weight bears down, remember, you are in divine training. The pressure teaches you discipline, stretches your faith, and sharpens your discernment. It forces you to rely not on what you feel, but on what you know. The emotions scream that you are alone, but faith whispers that you are being carried. The situation may look chaotic, yet your spirit is being aligned with heaven's rhythm. Sometimes, God allows the pressure because it exposes what still needs surrender. The cracks that appear are not signs of failure. They are openings where His light enters. Every sigh, every tear, every unanswered prayer is part of the sculpting. You are not being punished, you are being perfected. Consider this. Diamonds are born from pressure deep within the earth. Where darkness and weight combine to create brilliance, the same is true for you. The greater the compression, the brighter the revelation that will shine through you. Soon, those who only saw the weight will witness the radiance that emerged because of it. The pressure is holy because it removes pretense. It teaches you to pray when words fail, to stand when strength is gone, to believe when logic says it's over. It is in this holy tension that you learn to trust God completely. Every chosen one must learn this lesson. The pressure is not meant to break faith, but to prove it. There are nights when you will question everything, when the silence feels unbearable. Yet those nights are sacred classrooms. The darkness teaches you that God's presence is not always loud, but it is always there. You may not hear thunder or see fire, but you will feel His steady hand holding your heart. So breathe through the weight. Do not resist it. Yield. The potter knows exactly how much pressure to apply and when to release it. The clay never instructs the hands that shape it. It simply yields. You are safest in the press of His palms. Remember, even Jesus felt the pressure of purpose in Gethsemane. The garden's name itself means oil press. There, under unbearable weight, He chose obedience over comfort, and through that pressure, redemption was born. Likewise, your pressing will produce something sacred, a fragrance of faith that fills every space you enter. The pressure of becoming is never easy, but it is always worth it. What you learn here will carry you through every future battle. The endurance you gain will be your armor in seasons to come. Chosen one, when the pressure feels too much, whisper to your soul, I am being formed, not finished, because the potter never wastes his effort. And what he is shaping in you will stand firm through every storm that follows. There are moments, chosen one, when heaven interrupts your carefully drawn plans and rearranges them in ways you never expected. You thought the journey would be steady, the map clear, the timing predictable, but the path of destiny never moves in straight lines. What feels like delay is often divine choreography. What you call confusion is really correction. Every detour, every pause, every closed door is a gentle redirection from a God who sees the terrain you cannot. He knows where the cliffs are hidden and where the bridges are not yet built. He loves you too much to let you walk unprepared into what you prayed for. That's why he interrupts. That's why he shakes. Imagine a skilled conductor leading a grand orchestra. Every instrument has a moment to rest and a moment to play. The silence between the notes does not mean the music has stopped. It means the melody is being prepared for its next crescendo. The pauses in your life are not punishment, they are placement. You are being positioned for divine harmony. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verse 7, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." All then, this is the season where that verse breathes over you. The divine interruptions are not random, they are holy. You've been asking for open doors, but God sometimes answers with closed ones because the next season requires you to walk, not rush. Every no is a sacred protection. Every delay is a lesson in trust. Think of a seed buried in darkness. To the seed, it may feel like isolation, but in truth, it's incubation. The pressure of the soil and the waiting in silence are the very things that activate life. God buries you not to hide you, but to grow you in places unseen. When the time is right, you will sprout, and the same ground that once confined you will become the platform that sustains you. The shaking you once feared is simply heaven rearranging your story for greater fruitfulness. God is editing your narrative so it matches his divine script. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection toward revelation. You may not understand why certain doors closed, why people left, or why your prayers seemed unanswered. But one day, you'll look back and thank God for every interruption, because if he hadn't intervened, you would have settled for less than the glory that's coming. So here's what you must do. Now, stay open. Trust the composer. Flow with the rhythm of his timing. Every interruption carries a whisper, "I am leading you." The delays are invitations to rest, to listen, to let God finish the symphony he began in you. And while you walk through this, remember, divine purpose always unfolds through partnership. The message that touches your heart today is part of a living movement, voices and hearts aligned to keep light spreading across the earth. When you engage, when you give, when you share, you become a co-laborer in the harvest of souls who need to hear this same reminder. God is not done with them either. So if this word has stirred something deep in you, let that stirring become action. Like this message, if it spoke truth into your season, it helps this light travel to someone still trapped in confusion. Share it with a friend who's questioning the pauses in their own life. And if your heart feels called to support, to help sustain this flow of prophetic words reaching others around the world, consider sowing a seed, a love gift, an act of faith. Every offering, no matter how small, becomes part of the spiritual echo that says, "Keep going." Think of it this way. A single drop of water cannot form a river, but when joined with others, it carves valleys through mountains. Your support, whether through prayer, sharing, or giving, is a drop in the divine river that carries God's message to hearts that need awakening. If you haven't already, subscribe and stay connected. Each message builds on the last, like chapters in a sacred story being written just for you. When you join, you're not following a page, You're stepping into a movement of faith, endurance, and awakening. You are part of something holy. The shaking in your life, the redirection, the waiting, it's all leading somewhere glorious. Trust that what God interrupts, He always intends to complete. The pen is still in His hand, and the next chapter carries your breakthrough. Beloved, chosen one, stand firm. Don't rush the process. Let heaven finish its melody in you. What you call interruption today will soon sound like perfect harmony tomorrow. There is a rumbling deep within you now. Chosen one, it's not just the world around you, shaking your very spirit, trembles with divine electricity. Something inside you is aligning, resonating, awakening. What you once tolerated now feels unbearable. And what once felt far from reach now calls your name in the language of destiny. You are standing in the middle of a prophetic earthquake, an internal tremor sent not to destroy you, but to synchronize your heart with heaven's frequency. This inner shaking is not a sign of weakness. It is a sacred pulse that declares, I am being remade. The Spirit of God is stirring within your chest, like thunder before rain. You feel it when you pray, when you dream, when you try to rest, but your soul remains restless. The ground of your being is moving, and that movement is holy. You might have wondered why peace feels fragile lately, why familiar joys no longer satisfy, why you sense an invisible pull towards something higher. It's because your old spiritual atmosphere can no longer contain the weight of your new calling. You are being recalibrated for purpose. Heaven is shaking loose every residue of doubt, fear, and complacency that clings to you. This shaking is a cleansing. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 62, verse 2. Truly He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. This scripture is not merely comfort, it is confirmation. The shaking does not end in your fall, it ends in your foundation. God is teaching you the difference between what feels steady and what is steady. He is revealing that your anchor is not in circumstance, but in Christ Himself. Inside you, tectonic plates of faith are colliding with old fears, forcing everything false to crack and crumble. You are no longer allowed to live half awake. You cannot blend in with the complacent crowd. Heaven has set a fire beneath your feet. This is why you feel both unstable and alive at the same time. Transformation always shakes before it settles. There is a reason God begins His greatest works with noise. The thunder at Sinai, the rushing wind at Pentecost, the earthquake that tore the prison walls for Paul and Silas, all reminders that shaking precedes release. Your internal tremor is heaven's announcement that freedom is breaking out. And yet, I know it feels uncomfortable. The trembling within your spirit makes you question whether you've lost control. But you haven't lost control, you've surrendered it. What you once managed in your strength, God is now governing by His Spirit. You are being rewritten from the inside out. Chosen one, this is the hour of divine recalibration. You can no longer speak words that contradict your purpose. You can no longer live in smallness while greatness stirs within. God is realigning your vision, your relationships, your habits, and your desires. Every part of your being is being brought under divine order. If it feels like your prayers are heavier, it's because your spirit is expanding. If worship feels deeper, it's because your heart has been stretched by the shaking. If the world feels too loud, It's because heaven is amplifying your sensitivity to what truly matters. Don't fight the trembling. Flow with it. Each pulse is heaven pressing reset. Each quake is God whispering, I'm building something eternal in you. And now, chosen one. If this message resounds in the center of your being, if you can feel this invisible vibration, even as you read these words, respond not out of fear, but out of faith. Type 888 inches, the comments. Do it as a prophetic act, a declaration that says, I am in divine alignment. The number 8 carries the vibration of new beginnings, of fresh creation, of resurrection after silence. By writing it, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're agreeing with heaven. You're saying, I'm done clinging to what's shaking. I choose to stand on what remains. Let your comment become your altar. Every digit you type echoes upward as an affirmation of your surrender. And when you do, something unseen shifts. A peace begins to replace panic. A steady rhythm quiets your chaos. And your spirit starts to hum with holy order. This internal shaking is your evidence that God has not forgotten you. He is stirring your soil, watering your roots, preparing your fruit. Soon, the shaking will stop, and what will remain is the unshakable version of you, radiant with divine steadiness, breathing faith like oxygen. Beloved, don't fear the quaking heart within. It's heaven's signature on your soul, proof that transformation is in progress. The shaking has done its work. Chosen one. The outer noise has faded, and what remains is a quiet awareness, a clarity that can only be born from fire. You are beginning to see why things had to fall apart the way they did. Every false connection, every smiling face that carried hidden motives, every alliance built on convenience instead of covenant, God is exposing them one by one. The season of pretending has ended. Exposing counterfeit connections is never easy. It feels like betrayal. But in truth, it is revelation. God removes masks not to humiliate you, but to heal you. You prayed for truth, and heaven answered by shaking everything that hid it. Some people were never against you, but they could not go with you. Their assignment in your life was temporary, and holding on would have kept you anchored to smallness. You are learning the sacred art of release, the ability to let go without bitterness. Every false connection carries a lesson. Some taught you discernment, others taught you endurance, and a few reminded you that not every voice that praises you is for you. The shaking stripped away illusions so you could finally see who was genuinely sent by God. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 17, verse 5. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. And these words are not condemnation, they are caution. They remind you that dependence on people without discernment always leads to disappointment. God is not angry that you trusted others. He is simply teaching you where to place your trust next. Chosen one. The exposure of counterfeit connections is one of the greatest mercies heaven can give. For years, you prayed for discernment, and this shaking is the answer. The false must fall away before the true can be revealed. God will never allow deceit to follow you into destiny. He loves you too much to let that poison remain near your purpose. And though the uncovering hurts, the ache is temporary. You will heal from every disappointment, because truth always brings cleansing. Think of gold refined in fire. The impurities rise to the surface, not to shame the gold, but to purify it. The fire doesn't harm what's real, it only burns what never belonged. You might feel lonely, standing among the ashes of what used to be familiar. But look again, those ashes are fertile soil. From them, new relationships will sprout, ones rooted in truth, prayer, and mutual purpose. The people coming next are not here to drain you, they are here to build with you. Do not mourn the ones who left too long. If they could be shaken away, they were never foundational. The ones meant for you will remain steady through storms. God is surrounding you now with those who recognize your light, not because it benefits them, but because it reflects Him. This new circle will speak life, not gossip. They will celebrate your growth without feeling threatened. Their presence will bring peace, not pressure. You will know them by the fruit. They carry patience, humility, authenticity, and an unwavering love for truth. But before they arrive, you must finish the cleansing. God is still sweeping out the corners of your heart, removing resentment, clearing bitterness, dismantling the old need to be understood by everyone. Let Him finish His work. The cleaner your spirit, the clearer your discernment will become. The counterfeit connections taught you how to hear His voice in the noise. The betrayals became sacred, teachers of wisdom. You now recognize flattery that hides manipulation, charm that conceals envy, and promises that lack covenant. You are no longer naive, you are awake. And here lies the divine irony. What tried to use you actually refined you. What meant to drain you became the very thing that taught you boundaries. What sought to distract you turned into a mirror, revealing your true power. So, chosen one, lift your head. Don't let the weight of falsehood bow your spirit. You have not lost anything eternal. You have only been freed. This is divine subtraction before supernatural addition. Heaven never takes without intention. Every departure clears the space for divine alignment. Stand in this quiet moment and thank God for the exposure. Bless those who left. Release them in peace. For soon, your circle will shift again, but this time, it will be sacred. Those who enter next will not compete. They will complete. The shaking was never just about removing the fake. It was about revealing the faithful. You are being surrounded now by truth in human form, souls who burn with the same holy fire. And together, you will rise, stronger, wiser, unshakable. The air feels different now. Chosen one, you stand amid the aftermath of the shaking, surrounded by pieces of what once was, but your spirit is steady. The world around you may still tremble, yet something inside has settled into unexplainable peace. You are learning to stand while everything else falls. There was a time when storms like this would have broken you. You would have questioned your worth, doubted your calling, or tried to fix what was falling apart. But this time, you've chosen stillness. You've stopped trying to control what God is dismantling. You are beginning to understand the sacred strength of surrender, the quiet courage of standing firm when nothing makes sense. Every chosen one must learn this posture. It's the stance of faith that remains rooted when logic collapses. You've discovered that peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the presence of trust. You no longer need every answer to rest. You've learned to rest in the one who holds them. Heaven speaks clearly through the book of Exodus. Chapter 14, verse 13. Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. 1. Those words were first spoken to a nation trapped between the sea and their enemies. They could not go back, and they could not see a way forward. Yet the command was not to run, it was to stand. That is where you are now. Beloved, between what has ended and what has not yet begun, the temptation to panic is real. But so is the invitation to peace. Standing does not mean doing nothing. It means holding your position in faith when your mind screams to retreat. It means refusing to bow to fear even when the evidence looks impossible. When you stand, you declare to the unseen realm, I believe in what I cannot yet see. There's a quiet authority in that stance. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand. It simply refuses to move. You've seen storms come and go. Yet here you are, still standing. Every wave that tried to drown you became part of your testimony. Every gust that tried to push you over became wind in your wings. Standing in faith doesn't mean the storm stops immediately. Often, the wind still howls, the darkness still lingers, and the waiting still hurts. But something changes within you. You stop shaking with the world, because your anchor is no longer in the world. It is in God. You have grown. You've learned to breathe in chaos, to pray through pressure, to worship in waiting. You've discovered the art of endurance, how to keep your eyes lifted when your surroundings crumble. You are not surviving. You are becoming steadfast. The ability to stand is one of heaven's greatest gifts. It's what separates those who are called from those who are chosen. Many start with fire, but few remain when the flames test them. Yet you, yes, you are still here, scorched but shining, sharpened but stable. Every trial you've faced has strengthened your spiritual legs. Each disappointment added muscle to your faith. Every night you cried in silence, built the endurance to stand in daylight without fear. You are no longer a reed swaying with the wind. You are an oak rooted by rivers of living water. This strength you now carry doesn't shout, it radiates. It speaks through your calm when others panic, through your silence when others complain, through your unwavering hope when everything seems hopeless. People around you will begin to notice it, not the perfection of your life, but the peace within your storm. They will wonder how you remain so steady when everything shakes. That is when you will understand the true purpose of your trial. You were not just being strengthened for yourself, but for others. Your standing will remind the broken that stability is possible. Your endurance will prove that faith works. Your resilience will become a living sermon to those who have lost their footing. God is not just raising you up, He is positioning you as a pillar in a trembling world. So stand, chosen one. Stand when the winds rise again. Stand when voices of doubt whisper in your ear. Stand when nothing feels certain. You are proof that faith can outlast any storm. You are the living evidence that what is rooted in God cannot be shaken by man. Soon, the wind will quiet, and you will see what you're standing preserved. Nothing built on faith will fall. Nothing planted in truth will die. The world will see that you endured not because you were strong, but because you were sustained. And when you finally look around, you will realize you were never standing alone. The same presence that held the Red Sea open now stands beside you, whispering, I've got you. Silence. It lingers longer than you expected. Chosen one, the shaking has quieted, but heaven seems still. You pray. Yet the answers come slower. You reach for signs, but the sky remains wordless. This is the silent season of refinement, the holy stillness between revelation and realization. And though it feels like abandonment, it is anything but. God is not ignoring you, He is refining you. The silence of heaven is not the absence of God, it's the presence of deep work. When the teacher is silent, the student is taking the test. When the goldsmith stops speaking, it means the fire is doing what words cannot. This is your refining hour. When heaven speaks not through sound, but through shaping. At first, the quiet unnerves you. You've grown accustomed to the signs, the whispers, the gentle confirmations that remind you God is near. Now, it feels like He's vanished into the wind. But listen closer, beneath the stillness. Something stirs. The potter's hands have not left the clay. He's simply molding with precision too delicate for noise. We are reminded through the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15, "In quietness and trust is your strength." Those words hold the secret to your current trial. You are learning strength that doesn't shout, faith that doesn't demand proof, and peace that doesn't depend on visible progress. God is teaching you to stand on whispers instead of wonders. He is removing the training wheels of reassurance so that you can ride fully in the balance of belief. Every chosen one faces this silence. It's the interval between promise and fulfillment, the gap where faith is proven genuine. When God hides, He is not gone. He is gestating glory in you. Seeds do their most important work underground, where eyes cannot see and ears cannot hear. So does the Spirit. You are in spiritual incubation. The silence is stretching your capacity. Heaven wants to see if your faith can sing without music, if your heart can bow even when it doesn't feel His breath. These are not wasted days, they are sacred development. Remember how caterpillars dissolve in the cocoon before becoming butterflies? Their form completely melts down into liquid before wings emerge. That's what's happening inside you. Everything familiar, your rhythm, your certainty, your structure is melting. But soon, you will rise lighter, freer, radiant with transformation. The silent season feels lonely, but it is not empty. God speaks through delay, through detour, through stillness. He's rewriting your instincts to trust His nature, not His noise. You're learning that even when heaven doesn't speak, His heartbeat still echoes in your chest. And yes, there will be moments when you question if you're still on the right path. The enemy will whisper that the silence means disapproval, but discernment will rise within you and remind you, no, this silence is sacred, because when God stops explaining, it's because He's begun revealing through experience, not words. You will look back and see how every quiet night built patience, every unanswered prayer built depth, and every pause built endurance. The silence is not punishment, it is polish. God is smoothing the rough edges of your spirit so that when He speaks again, you will recognize His voice without confusion. Chosen one, the silence is proof that you are trusted. God doesn't whisper into the ears of the immature, He refines them first. And you, beloved, are in the furnace of refinement, not to burn, but to shine. So, breathe. Don't fill the silence with fear. Let it teach you. Let it sculpt you. Sit in it, until it no longer feels empty but holy. The stillness is not the end of your story, it's the deep inhale before your divine exhale. Now, if these words echo in the quiet space of your heart, let your response rise, not in many words, but in one small act of faith. Comment, "Still here." Oh, because those two words are a declaration of endurance. They mean, I haven't heard much, but I haven't left either. They testify that silence has not scared you away from purpose. When you write them, heaven takes notice. You are saying to God, even without answers, I remain. Even in stillness, I trust. Even when I feel nothing, I believe everything. Oh, the silence will not last forever. Soon, a whisper will return a new instruction, a gentle wind of direction, and you will realize that every quiet hour was shaping the ears of your spirit to recognize His next word. Hold on. Chosen one. The silence is not the end, it's the sacred beginning of deeper hearing. You've walked through storms and silence. Chosen one. And yet here you are, standing, breathing, glowing faintly with the quiet light of survival. But what you don't see is that even now, invisible hands are carrying you. The moments when you thought you couldn't take another step, when strength abandoned you and faith felt like dust, heaven was lifting you. Unseen but unrelenting. You have not endured on your own. You have been carried. Every prayer you whispered in exhaustion became a wing beneath you. Every tear that fell in secret watered the soil that would soon bear fruit. You thought you were crawling. God says you were being carried by grace. Heaven's grip is gentle, yet mighty. It is like a current that moves beneath the surface of the river, quiet, unseen, but powerful enough to guide entire ships. You may not feel the current, but it's there, steering you toward destiny's shore. The same invisible hand that steadied Daniel in the lion's den, that lifted Peter from the waves, now steadies you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 27, the eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Those everlasting arms have been beneath you the entire time. You were never falling. You were being lowered gently into the next chapter. What you thought was free fall was, in truth, divine transition. God never lets His chosen ones crash. He lets them descend into purpose at the exact pace their souls can handle. This season, God's carrying power is your secret armor. Others see your calm and assume you are strong, but you know better. You are simply resting in the one who never sleeps. When you ran out of plans, His hands became your plan. When you lost direction, His grace became your compass. And in these very words, He reminds you, I've got you. The battle is not for your effort, it's for your awareness. He wants you to recognize the miracle hidden in the mundane. Every morning, you wake up, still breathing, still believing, still pressing forward. That is proof of divine support. Now, beloved, take a moment to pause and breathe. Let gratitude wash over you. You are alive, not by chance, but by covenant. The same arms that carried you through the dark will now lift you into the light. And if this message stirs something in your spirit, if you feel that quiet recognition that says, yes, that's me, then know that you are part of something larger than a single moment. You are part of a divine network, an invisible family of faith woven together across the earth. So here's what I invite you to do. Not out of pressure, but as a living act of gratitude. If this message has met you in your valley, like it so that it may find another soul wandering through theirs. When you share it, you become a lighthouse. Your act of faith becomes a flame for someone else's night. And if your heart feels moved, consider sowing into the work that brings these words into the world. A seed of love, a small donation, is never about transaction, it's about participation. It's saying, I believe in light. I believe in messages that heal, just as rivers flow when fed by streams. This ministry flows when hearts give freely. Your gift keeps the current alive, carrying hope to countless others who need to hear what you just heard. Think of your giving like the widow's oil, small in size, yet limitless in its ability to multiply. Each offering poured out in love fills another vessel somewhere across the earth. Someone in despair hears hope again because you allowed grace to flow through you. If you haven't yet, subscribe and stay connected. Each word you hear builds upon the last, layer by layer, forming a foundation of strength in your spirit. You are not following content, you are walking a path of transformation. When you stay close, the journey unfolds in divine sequence, revealing more of the purpose already written within you. Remember this. Chosen one, being carried by invisible hands doesn't mean you are passive, it means you are protected. The one who holds galaxies together holds your heart with the same precision. You don't have to see his hands to trust his hold. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it. Everlasting arms beneath you, the wind of grace around you, the whisper of heaven saying, I won't let you fall. That's your reality now. The unseen has become your foundation. The invisible has become your certainty. And in that realization, you find rest not in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of support. You are being carried, always have been, and always will be. The shaking now burns like fire. Chosen one, what once trembled now blazes. You have walked through storms, silence, and separation, but this is different. This is purification. The fire that surrounds you is not the fire of destruction, it is the fire of refinement. It burns away what cannot enter the next dimension of your destiny. The refining fire of God is holy, purposeful, and precise. It doesn't rage without reason. It targets the impurities, the hidden fears, the lingering pride, and every fragment of self that still resists surrender. You may feel surrounded by flames, but what is truly burning is everything that does not reflect his image within you. Fire has always been heaven's instrument of transformation. When Moses approached the burning bush, God revealed himself not in calm, but in flame. When Elijah called upon the Lord, fire descended to consume the offering. When the disciples waited in the upper room, tongues of fire rested upon them. Fire is the divine sign of presence. God is here, purging, refining, and empowering. The ancient words recorded in Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9 declare, I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people. And they will say, the Lord is our God. Oh, this is the season when your identity is being purified in the furnace of faith. The shaking revealed what could not remain. Now the fire reveals what must never be lost. Every flame licking at your edges is heaven's confirmation. that you are chosen for glory. You are learning what only fire can teach. The fire strips away illusion. It cannot be deceived by surface beauty or empty confidence. It searches for authenticity, consuming what's temporary until only truth remains. The words you speak, the prayers you pray, the dreams you carry, they are all being refined. You are being made pure in purpose and fierce in faith. Do not fear this process. It is divine intimacy disguised as discomfort. God's fire does not simply visit, it dwells. It sits with you until you glow with His reflection. This is why certain things no longer satisfy. Your spirit is too purified to find pleasure in what once distracted you. You are becoming too holy for smallness, too radiant for compromise. The fire changes your appetite. It shifts your focus. You begin to crave what is eternal and lose interest in what is fleeting. People will wonder what happened to you, but they will not understand that the fire has rewritten your spiritual DNA. You are no longer defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what God is forming in you. Sometimes, the fire isolates. It makes you feel as though you've been set apart in a furnace of your own. But even there, you are never alone. Remember the 3 Hebrew men who stood in the flames the moment they were thrown into the fire. The 4th figure appeared beside them. That same presence now stands with you. The heat may rise, but it will never consume you. You are walking proof that divine fire refines without destroying. The longer you remain in the fire, the more you discover its hidden mercy. Every spark is a whisper. You are ready for more. The intensity means you have reached a threshold. The higher the heat, the closer the promotion. God's fire always comes before His fullness. So, let it burn. Let it purify your words until they carry weight. Let it refine your vision until you see with heaven's eyes. Let it cleanse your motives until love is your only reason. Fire that once frightened you now becomes your ally. It prepares you for the power that comes after. The anointing that follows fire is different. It is pure, steady, unshakable. It does not seek applause. It carries authority. It walks through storms and stays unbothered. It speaks softly, yet the earth listens. This is the version of you that heaven has been shaping all along. Chosen one. You are almost through the refining. The glow you carry will be visible soon, not the glow of pride, but the brilliance of purity. Those who doubted you will see it and know, this one has walked through fire and did not burn. You are becoming gold, untarnished, unbreakable, unmistakably divine. And soon, your reflection will no longer show scars, but glory. The trembling has eased. Chosen one. The flames that once roared around you now glow as embers beneath your feet. The storm that once terrified you has passed, and in the still air that follows, you can feel it. Something new has begun. You have not merely survived the shaking, you have been reshaped by it. This is the dawn of your prophetic rising. Everything that fell away made space for what heaven was waiting to release. What you thought were endings were, in truth, introductions to a new chapter of divine purpose. You have been refined, pruned, tested, and now you rise. But this rising is not loud or hurried. It is steady, sacred, powerful. It is the quiet unveiling of one who has been hidden in the secret place. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You think differently, speak differently, pray differently. What once provoked fear now stirs faith. You've seen too much of God's faithfulness to doubt Him again. The shaking taught you that loss was never punishment, it was preparation. Every breaking became a building block for this very moment, as was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for His appearing. Oh, that crown is not distant. Chosen one. It begins now. It rests not on your head, but on your spirit, marking you as one who has overcome. The prophetic rising isn't about being seen, it's about being ready. You are stepping into alignment with heaven's timetable. What was delayed is now being delivered. What was buried is about to bloom. You may not even notice the change at first. It begins subtly, the way your peace feels deeper, your patience longer, your discernment sharper. You start hearing heaven more clearly, seeing through distractions more quickly. That's how you know the elevation has begun. You're no longer shaken by what once startled you, no longer distracted by noise that once demanded your attention. You've become anchored in quiet strength. This is your rising season. But it will look different than what the world calls success. You will not rise by climbing ladders, you will rise by surrendering deeper. You will not be elevated through competition, but through compassion. The higher you go, the lower you bow in humility. That is the mark of the truly chosen. The prophetic rising always begins within before it manifests around you. You are rising in conviction before you rise in recognition. Heaven is establishing your inner foundation so the external glory won't crush you. When your name begins to echo, your character will already be prepared to carry it. This moment right here is sacred transition. The shaking is finished. The rising has begun. You can feel it in your bones, a sense of renewal, a clarity of mission. What once confused you now makes perfect sense. The path ahead might not be fully visible, but you trust the direction because you now recognize the voice guiding you. The prophetic rising means you will begin to speak words that carry weight. Your presence will bring calm where there is chaos. You will see doors open, not by force, but by favor. Where you once felt invisible, heaven will now make you undeniable, not for your glory, but for His. So lift your head, chosen one. Breathe in this new air. The ashes of your old season are behind you, and before you lies a field ready for harvest. The shaking was your soil being turned. Now the seeds are breaking forth. This is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. You have entered your rising, and now, as an act of faith, as a sign that you recognize this sacred moment, comment 1111 below. This number carries the vibration of divine alignment and new beginnings. When you write it, you are declaring, "Heaven and earth are in agreement over my life." You are marking this moment not as wishful thinking, but as prophetic realization. The number becomes your banner, your spiritual timestamp that says, "I stepped into my rising today." When you type those 4 digits, do it with awareness. Let your heart speak through your fingertips. I am in sync with heaven's order. I am no longer waiting. I am walking in it. Heaven sees your declaration, and angels move accordingly, aligning opportunities, connections, and revelations to your obedience. This is your rising, chosen one, quiet, steady, unstoppable. What shook you has now shaped you. What burned you has now blessed you. The one who once wept in confusion now walks in clarity, crowned not with pride, but with purpose. You are not being elevated for applause, you are being lifted for assignment. Rise gently. Rise boldly. Rise beautifully. The world has not seen the fullness of you yet, but heaven always has. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when you realize that surrender is not defeat, it is coronation. You fought battles, endured fire, survived storms, and still, heaven whispers one final invitation. Lay it down. And though everything in you wants to hold tighter, something deeper inside understands. It is only in letting go that you rise into your throne. Surrender is the most misunderstood victory. The world calls it weakness, but heaven calls it wisdom. When you surrender, you are not giving up, you are giving over. You are placing your story back into the hands of its author. Every crown worth wearing is born from that moment of open hands. There's a sacred peace that settles when you stop wrestling and start yielding. It doesn't mean the questions vanish or the path becomes clear. It means you've chosen trust over control. You've learned that divine timing is better than your own, that God's plan is bigger than your understanding. Every part of your journey, every delay, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer has led to this altar of surrender. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 1, "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." This is the essence of your coronation. Beloved, you are not crowned by striving, you are crowned by surrender. The throne God prepares for you isn't made of gold and jewels, but of humility and obedience. Every time you bow lower, heaven raises you higher. Every time you say, "Not my will, but yours," another jewel is added to your invisible crown. You are learning to release the illusion of control. You no longer cling to outcomes, you cling to presence. You no longer demand explanations, you rest in assurance. You have seen enough of his faithfulness to know that what he withholds is as holy as what he gives. Surrender transforms ambition into anointing. The dreams that once centered on your own success are now soaked in service. You no longer chase platforms, you build altars. You no longer compete for recognition, you labor for redemption. That's how you know your heart has shifted from striving to sovereignty. It is in this holy surrender that your true power awakens, because surrender is not passive, it is deeply active. It is choosing faith when fear screams louder. It is walking forward when the path disappears. It is trusting that what falls from your hands was never meant to stay. Look at Jesus in Gethsemane, the place of pressing, the garden of surrender. It was there, under the weight of agony, that he whispered the words that changed eternity, "Not my will, but yours be done." The crown of thorns came before the crown of glory. The same pattern unfolds in you. Before elevation comes yielding. Before resurrection comes release. When you surrender, you give God permission to be God. You release your timeline, your fears, your expectations, and he replaces them with peace. You stop micromanaging miracles and allow grace to move freely. You stop asking why and begin to say yes. That yes is your crown. The coronation of surrender is invisible to the world. yet radiant, in heaven. Angels witness it. The very air around you shifts when you finally let go. Suddenly, the things you once chased begin to find you. What once eluded you now unfolds effortlessly because surrender aligns you with divine flow. Do not mistake surrender for stillness. It is movement of the highest kind. It is motion without striving, progress without panic. You are no longer pushing doors open. You are walking through those God unlocks. You are no longer climbing ladders. You are soaring on grace. In surrender, you begin to see life differently. Every obstacle becomes opportunity. Every delay becomes preparation. Every no becomes protection. You begin to trust that even detours are divine. What once felt like loss now looks like strategy. You realize that God never wastes anything, not even your waiting. Chosen one. This is your coronation moment. Not because you've conquered everything, but because you've finally yielded everything. The crown rests lightly on the head that bows. The throne belongs to the one who kneels. And the most powerful prayer you can now pray is not, Lord, give me, but Lord, use me. Emdav, let the world chase crowns that fade. You have been given a crown that cannot be taken, the crown of surrender, radiant with peace, forged in obedience, and sealed in love. When heaven looks at you now, it sees royalty not because of your victories, but because of your surrender. You are crowned through yielding, glorified through humility, exalted through trust. The shaking may have revealed your weakness, but surrender reveals your strength. And now, in the quiet of this sacred transformation, you understand what all the storms were for, not to break you, but to teach you how to bow. Now, chosen one, as you look back across the long valley of your journey, clarity begins to dawn like morning light over mountains. The pain that once felt senseless begins to make sense. You finally see that every trembling, every breaking, every tear-stained night was never wasted. The shaking wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to build you. The breaking that once left you in pieces has become the blueprint of your strength. There is a sacred beauty in hindsight. When you stand in the aftermath of obedience, you realize that God never left you for a moment. Every detour was divine. Every loss was love in disguise. The same hands that allowed the shaking also caught the fragments when everything fell apart. You see now that what you called ruin was actually renovation. As the prophet wrote in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. This is your testimony. You wore ashes, and now you wear beauty. You carried sorrow, and now you carry oil. The garments of heaviness that once clung to your soul have been exchanged for praise. The shaking stripped away what could be shaken, and what remains is pure, tested, and true. The breaking was divine surgery. Painful, yes, but purposeful. God opened up the hidden wounds that you had learned to live with. He exposed the fractures you thought were healed, not to shame you, but to restore you completely. You are not just better than before, you are reborn. The shaking dismantled everything false so that authenticity could finally breathe. Think of pottery in the hands of a master craftsman. When cracks appear, the artisan doesn't throw the piece away. Instead, He fills the fractures with gold, transforming weakness into wonder. This ancient art is called kintsugi, the beauty of brokenness restored. That is what God has done within you. Every fracture now gleams with glory. Every scar tells a story of mercy. You are not marked by your wounds, you are illuminated by them. The pain that once defined you has become your power. Where you were broken, light now shines through. The very places the enemy thought would destroy you have become the channels through which others will find healing. You have become a living testament that nothing surrendered to God ever stays broken. Look closely at your reflection now. You can see strength where weakness once lived. You can sense peace where anxiety used to dwell. Your spirit no longer trembles at the sound of storms because it knows that shaking is not your end, it's your elevation. This is why you endured what you did. Heaven was crafting resilience, patience, and purity within you. Every hardship was a chisel in the hands of the divine sculptor. He carved away pride, trimmed excess, refined motives, and shaped you into a vessel fit for glory. Sometimes the breaking was silent. It didn't come with loud loss, but with quiet disappointments, small fractures in the heart that only you and God knew existed. Yet even those unseen breakings were holy. They were heaven's whisper saying, I am making more room in you for me. And now, that room is filled with peace, with purpose, with power. The shaking cleared away the clutter so that the divine could dwell freely. You've learned to walk lighter, love deeper, and forgive faster. The bitterness that once weighed you down has been burned away, leaving only the gold of compassion. The breaking that birthed you has changed how you see the world. You no longer ask, why me? You ask, what now? Lord, that is the mark of transformation. Pain used to silence you. Now it teaches you to speak with authority. You no longer hide your scars. You hold them up as evidence of grace. Chosen one. This chapter is holy remembrance. It's the space between testing and triumph, the moment where you finally understand that the shaking was never about loss. It was about revelation. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Everything that broke you became a doorway. Every no led to a higher yes. Every delay led you closer to destiny. And now, the very cracks that once embarrassed you have become the proof of divine craftsmanship. Stand here for a moment and breathe it in the calm after chaos, the glory after grief. You have crossed through the fire and come out glimmering. You have passed through storms and emerged steady. You have learned that God's breaking is never cruel, it is creative. Your story now carries weight. Your words will carry healing. Because you didn't just survive, you transformed. The breaking did not end you, it birthed you. Chosen one. Heaven is beginning to announce you, quietly at first, like the soft hum before dawn. But unmistakably, it is happening. The same voice that whispered over you in secret seasons now begins to echo through open doors. You are stepping into visibility, not by striving, but by divine unveiling. What was hidden in preparation is now being revealed in purpose. You've been through the shaking, the pressing, the fire, and the silence. Each stage stripped away what could not remain. Now, like a seed that endured winter, you break through the soil into light. What felt like burial was actually planting, and heaven has chosen this hour to let you bloom. People will begin to notice. But don't let that surprise you. This is not about fame, it's about fulfillment. God elevates his chosen ones not to decorate the stage of the world, but to illuminate it. Your voice, your story, your resilience, all of it becomes a lamp that others can see by. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Your elevation is heaven's announcement that the refining season was worth it. Every tear became oil for your lamp. Every loss became a lesson in love. And now, as you walk into this season of revelation, grace follows you like sunlight spilling across the horizon. This is the time to stand tall, not in pride, but in purpose. God is lifting you so that others can see his goodness reflected in your life. And just as mountains rise from the earth to catch the first light of morning, your spirit now rises to reflect the glory of God. You may notice new opportunities emerging, new people being drawn to your message, and new doors opening where walls once stood. Do not shrink back. This is divine timing. The visibility you carry is not for applause, it's for assignment. You are a beacon in a dark world, a reminder that endurance births radiance. And beloved, as this light begins to spread, remember, every flame requires fuel. The same way oil keeps the lamp burning, support keeps the mission alive. These words, these moments of divine reflection, travel across hearts because a family of faith helps them move. So, if this message has touched something deep in you, if it's reminded you of who you are in God, then don't just feel it, share it. Like this message to keep its light visible in the digital sea where so many are drifting in shadows. When you share it, you're not spreading content, you're sending comfort. Somewhere, someone is praying for confirmation, and your act of sharing becomes the answer to that prayer. And if your heart feels led, sow into the light that's reaching you. A gift, a seed, a donation. It doesn't have to be grand, it only has to be genuine. Every act of giving becomes like water to a thirsty garden. It allows the message to continue flowing, reaching souls still lost in the noise of despair. You are not paying for words, you are participating in ministry. Think of your support like a candle lighting another. One small flame, when shared, can set an entire cathedral aglow. Each like, each comment, each offering adds oil to this shared fire, a living flame that keeps spreading across hearts and nations. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and stay connected. This isn't just a stream of messages, it's a journey. Every word builds on the last, leading you from shaking to shining. When you stay connected, you're saying to heaven, I'm still here, still growing, still becoming. Dappelin, before this chapter closes, take a moment to breathe gratitude. You've come so far. You've been faithful in the shadows, and now the light finds you. But remember, the light that lifts you is not yours to hoard, it's yours to share. So let your presence online be more than scrolling, let it be sowing. Let your comment be more than reaction, let it be reflection. Write something from your spirit. Share how God met you here. Your words could be the bridge someone else needs to cross their storm. The world is full of noise, but your testimony is melody. The shaking taught you how to sing again. And now heaven is amplifying your voice. Step boldly into the light. You are not rising alone, we rise together. Every like a heartbeat, every share, a spark, every gift, a ripple of grace. And as heaven announces you, stand humbly in wonder, because the God who refined you in private is now revealing you in power. The air feels calm now. Chosen one, almost sacredly still. The chaos that once swirled around you has quieted, and what remains is a steady, holy silence. You no longer tremble when things shift. You no longer panic when the familiar fades. You have become what the shaking was always meant to create, unshakable. Peace is no longer a fleeting visitor, it has become your home. This peace is not the kind the world offers, fragile and dependent on circumstance. No, this peace was born in fire. It was forged through surrender, hammered into shape by hardship, and polished by patience. It is armor now soft enough to comfort, strong enough to defend. There was a time when you prayed for calm, but now you realize God didn't give you calm, He gave you clarity. The clarity to see storms differently, to understand that the winds which once frightened you are the same winds that carry you forward. You have learned the rhythm of trust, and it beats steadily beneath every breath. The Apostle reminds us in the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 7, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." That peace is your new mantle. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand. It simply rests upon you like morning light through open windows. Others might not understand it. They'll wonder how you remain so composed when everything seems uncertain. But you'll know it's not the absence of battle. It's the presence of God. This peace came at a cost. It was paid for in long nights and heavy tears. In moments where you chose prayer over panic, faith over fury, stillness over striving. Every time you resisted the urge to react, you built another brick in the wall of your endurance. That wall now surrounds you, not to isolate you, but to protect the temple within. You are clothed in serenity. But make no mistake, this serenity is power. The enemy cannot manipulate a heart anchored in peace. Fear loses its voice when you stop listening to its lies. You've learned how to silence storms by refusing to echo their sound. Your faith no longer needs to prove itself through noise. It speaks through stillness. It stands tall in the middle of tremors and whispers. I know my God. You've discovered that the greatest authority is quiet confidence. This unshakable faith does not deny pain. It transcends it. You still feel, but you do not fall apart. You still care, but you no longer carry what's not yours. The burdens that once crushed you now roll off like rain on stone. You've learned to rest not because the road has ended, but because you've learned who walks beside you. In this new phase of your journey, your battles won't always be external. There'll be subtle tests of patience, temptations to overthink, opportunities to slip back into fear, but you'll recognize them instantly. Peace sharpens perception. The spirit within you will whisper, "You've been here before. You know how to stand." Lo, every victory you've gained has built this inner fortress. You no longer crumble at delay, you discern its purpose. You no longer dread silence, you understand its language. You no longer fear endings, you sense the beginning hidden inside them. Chosen one, you have become the very thing darkness feared. You'd never become a living embodiment of divine steadiness. You don't need to chase signs anymore. You are one. your composure in chaos, your worship in weakness, your calm in confusion. All of it testifies that heaven lives within you. This is maturity in motion. The storms still come, but they no longer define you. People may question how you endure, but you won't need to explain. Your peace speaks louder than your defense ever could. You've learned that the true victory is not avoiding the storm, but walking through it unshaken. Look at yourself now, no longer running from battles, no longer begging for clarity, no longer seeking approval. You've entered a new realm of confidence, not arrogance, but assurance, the kind that says, even if the earth gives way, I will not be moved. No, you are wearing the mantle of unshakable faith. It fits you perfectly now, woven from every thread of trust. Trial and triumph you've endured. The weight of it feels natural, as though you were always meant to carry it. From this place, you no longer react, you respond. You no longer strive, you flow. You no longer fear, you discern. And through it all, peace walks beside you, whispering, you've become everything heaven saw when it chose you. And you've become the calm in the storm, the light in the trembling, the proof that faith does not fail when founded on God. You are unshakable because your roots no longer cling to what changes, they're anchored in the one who never does. And now, chosen one, the shaking has finally ceased. The air around you feels new, lighter, quieter, holy. The dust that once clouded your vision has settled, and before you stretches a landscape you've never seen before. It's not what you expected, but it's exactly what heaven designed. You've crossed through fire and storm, through silence and surrender. And what remains of you is the truest version of who you've always been. This is the glory after the shaking. It does not come with noise or fanfare. Glory rarely does. It arrives softly like sunrise after the longest night. You feel it more than you see it. The peace that wraps around you, the steady joy that hums beneath your ribs, the quiet certainty that whispers, it was all worth it. This is the manifestation of divine promise. You are not the same. You have become a sanctuary. The presence of God no longer visits you occasionally. It dwells within you. You carry heaven now, not in fleeting moments, but as a continual reality. You've discovered that glory isn't an event, it's a state of being. It is what happens when surrender becomes your lifestyle and obedience becomes your rhythm. Heaven speaks through the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 10, and the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. Lund, those words are the summary of your entire journey. You have suffered a little while, and now the restoration begins. Strength returns, not as defiance, but as grace. Firmness fills your soul, not through effort, but through trust. You stand steadfast, not because life is stable, but because your spirit is. The glory that now rests upon you doesn't erase the scars, it redeems them. Every mark tells a story. Every wound has become a window for light. The places that once hurt the most now radiate healing for others. This is how divine glory moves. It transforms pain into purpose, sorrow into song, and ashes into beauty. You will begin to notice it in the simplest things, the way your laughter comes easier, the way gratitude rises before worry, The way you see God's fingerprints on ordinary days, that's what glory feels like. It's not distant fire, it's daily presence. You walk differently now because you've learned that every step is sacred. The shaking taught you faith, the glory teaches you rest. You no longer strive to prove yourself. You no longer carry the need to be understood. You've stopped measuring your worth by the world's metrics. You've come to understand that glory isn't about what you gain, it's about what you release. And you've released everything that once weighed your spirit down. Now, you move like water, gentle, yet unstoppable. You flow with grace, where you once fought with fear. You see divine timing not as delay, but as design. Every moment, even the still ones, feels infused with purpose. You know now that heaven never wastes a heartbeat. The glory after the shaking is the peace that cannot be stolen, the joy that doesn't depend on outcome, the wisdom born from wounds. You've become fluent in heaven's language: silence, trust, endurance, and gratitude. These are the dialects of glory. Look around your life. Not everything is perfect, but everything is right. The people who remain are true. The spaces that felt empty have become altars. Even the things you lost have turned into testimonies of transformation. The glory of God has filled the very places the enemy tried to hollow out. Chosen one. This is your restoration. Not a return to what was, but a rising into what is eternal. You are walking proof that divine shaking never ends in destruction, it ends in design. God has rebuilt you with deeper roots, stronger walls, and clearer vision. You are not fragile, you are fortified. Your journey has come full circle, yet it doesn't close, it continues in glory. The same voice that called you from obscurity now commissions you into purpose. The trials didn't end your story, they refined your voice. The silence didn't mean abandonment, it created intimacy. The shaking didn't scatter you, it centered you. And so you stand glorified, purified, and fortified. You don't need to announce it, your very presence testifies. You carry the calm of those who have seen too much of God to ever doubt Him again. You are unbreakable not because you escaped pain, but because you discovered His strength within it. The glory after the shaking is not about what you've gained, it's about who you've become. You are light wrapped in resilience, mercy clothed in human form. The living evidence that heaven always finishes what it starts. And somewhere deep within, you hear it, the whisper that began this whole journey. Now spoken once more, soft and certain. You are my chosen one. The shaking is over. Rise, shine, and walk in your glory. Chosen one. Take a deep breath. You've reached the end of this journey, but heaven's work in you has only just begun. You have walked through trembling, fire, silence, and surrender, and now you stand radiant, crowned not by circumstance, but by conviction. This message found you for a reason. Nothing about your arrival here was random. It was written. If these words stirred your spirit, let that stirring move outward. Like this message as a way of saying, I receive this, when you share it. You're not just passing content, you're passing light. Someone out there is standing where you once stood, waiting for confirmation that God still speaks. You could be the bridge heaven uses to reach them. Leave your voice in the comments. Tell what moment resonated. What sentence felt like it was written just for you? Your story might become the spark that reignites someone else's faith. And if you haven't yet, subscribe not for algorithms, but for alignment. Every message that follows is a continuation of the same divine rhythm that has carried you here. You are proof that shaking leads to glory, that surrender leads to strength, that faith always finds its footing. Now go and walk in that truth. Share what you've become. Shine with quiet confidence. Let your journey echo in others, so they too will know. The shaking was never the end, it was the beginning of elevation.